This is Castle Community School, my old secondary school. I have fond memories here in school. I took part in everything. I took part in the school plays and the musicals and the choir and things like that. And we used to get to go away and, it was great. Things would have started to go wrong for me in, I suppose, the summer of 5th year. It wasn't something like you hear of people going through something traumatic and things like that. I don't think it wasn't really anything like that for me. It was more of a gradual thing. In the beginning, drink didn't even bother me. Like, I would have a few drinks, but it was more about being out and dressing up and, kind of playing the part. And that's when I can remember just everything kind of going wrong, I wasn't happy until I was really, really drunk. Arguing and fighting, and you'd always get phone calls or text messages, to say, you said such and such a thing, you did such and such a thing, and that's really all that I was going on for a long time, because I would have drank myself into a blackout. Alcohol did change me, because I became almost a recluse. I didn't want to go out, I didn't want to be around people. I had no interest in sports and things like that. I lost good friends through my drinking. You know that you were losing them and you're kind of saying, no, they're not for me, they're boring, or they're this or they're that. I drank alone, I ate alone. I physically couldn't be around people, I was paranoid and was frightened really, and that's where it kind of brought me. In the end, I was just very alone. And that's when I think I asked my parents, in the end I actually begged them to help me, to help me get right again. This here is the Serenity Garden here in Aspirin Treatment Centre in Ballymaggart. I suppose when I came here, I kind of knew I was beat, I was lost. Didn't know myself, didn't know anybody else, didn't know what I wanted. What I had in my life I didn't want.
Mark is going to be his buddy when he's in treatment.
In drink you lose yourself, you almost stop growing mentally and emotionally, and that's what recovery is. Recovery is where you find, for some people they find God, a higher power, a spirit. Others find their family, get to know their family again. For me, I just found myself again,
Read step 1 booklet.
There is, I suppose, a spiritual side to recovery, Recovery can be hard at times. Even, I suppose, realising an addiction can be hard. It also can be done, What brought you in here?
Put in a court case and legal letter.
Can you describe the kind of trouble you get into? I suppose I've come full circle. I'm back here in counselling. I suppose just giving back a little bit of what I've received.
How does that make you feel to wake up?
The fact that I can't drink doesn't mean that my whole life has stopped. I mean, I go out, I love to go out, I love to socialise with people, I love meeting new people. I love music and I love, being in a good atmosphere. For me, total abstinence is the answer, and that's just for me. Every body, meaning everyone's body, is different, and we're looking at our friends downing 8 pints and a couple of small ones, I should be able to do that, and you do it, unconsciously you do it, you try to keep up all the time, and that's when, that's what you have to watch, because that's when things can get out of control. I remember listening to people speaking about drinking drugs, and I always kind of thought, no, whatever, would never happen to me. I don't have a problem, don't have issues around drink or drugs. I'm fine. So I can understand people looking at this even and going, whatever. But it does creep up on you. You don't realise that it's happening to you, There's a line that you can cross from being okay or a social drinker or whatever into an addict, and it's a very fine line. Find your own medium.
People will get probably so drunk to numb themselves or to forget whatever's going on at the moment with their lives.
They might, just have problems and feel that they can just drown them but then the next day they just absorb everything that they let out. You know, it comes back. You can't get rid of it until you face it on.
You have to depend on other people sometimes, and that comes with trust, so I think it gets you somewhere if you trust people.
I have a close circle of friends that I trust very much, and they trust me, so trust is really important between friends.
Family is very important as well, but friendship is a different thing, because you know you interact with your friends more closely.
If you with a friend and they've got you drunk, the last thing you want to do is like yell at them or anything. You just have to be there and be compassionate with them, and then in the morning you can talk it out with them and see why they did it or what's going on in their life, and you always have to be there to talk to them.
If it's just a one-off thing, I suppose you kind of got to learn from your mistakes, so it wouldn't be too serious. But if it's a regular thing, then you kind of have to talk to them when they're sober.